the fuck? Where's the jingle?
Hello and welcome to the Halftime Podcast. Welcome back to another episode. It's been a very, very long time. In fact, I think this is the first episode of 2019. So, it's been a long time coming, and a lot of football has happened in that amazing period. So, just on that note, we've skipped, and we're now at the Champions League final. So,
what a time to start again. What a time to start at the end of the season.
Exactly. There is no better time to start than at the end of a footballing season. So we are going to keep you entertained over the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. As long as Jake's here, I'm sure there's lots of controversy and lots of and lots of topics to be discussed. So anyway, on to today's panel. Joining myself, we have Jake Thomas.
Hello.
S.A. Agboye.
Hey, guys.
And Charlie Pumfrey.
I said afternoon, but we can't date this. Hello.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time, gents. Let's you know what? Let's just go straight into it because there's a lot to talk about. Now, pre-podcast launch, or pressing the button, should we say, on this podcast, Jake was very animated. I feel like he's got a lot to vent.
It's just going to be a big rant.
Well, you know what? This is the platform. This is the platform. This is your time to shine, Jake.
My time to get it all out so I can sleep at night.
Here we go. Well, the stage is all yours, Jake.
That game last night was shit.
Jake!
Jake! We're PG, man. We're PG.
Hold on a minute. I need to find the PG DVD and read the description.
That's it. Demonetized. Channel's going down.
Yeah, that's it. We're gone. Anyway, okay. Well, apologies for that. Jake, carry on.
Okay. The game wasn't very good, was it? I mean, I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought it was so slow and boring. I mean, not quite as bad as the Europa League final, because that was atrocious. But you would not have thought that was a Champions League final. Like, the quality on display was absolutely awful from both teams.
Well, I mean, you just answered my question. I was going to ask, was it a specific team? But no one stood out for you then.
I tell you what, right? The quality of the football was about as good as the quality of the stream on YouTube, where you had those pixels moving about. It was like bloody paint going backwards and forwards.
Champions League final, as shown by Salvador Dali.
It was ridiculous. Yeah, literally.
This was something you was very, very, very animated about on Twitter.
Yes,
I remember seeing your tweets as well.
The quality it wasn't too bad in the second half. I'll give it that. But the first half was dreadful. I don't know what they were doing.
So what was it like for anyone who may have missed it, or anyone who may have watched BT Sports directly?
If like me, you're rather poor and had to stream the game, you can get it on YouTube.
Legally streaming.
Yes, legally. There's a first. Legally. Okay.
I just had the lawyers on the phone. He said streaming. We've got to get the buzzers out.
I'd have had more luck with an illegal stream. I think the quality would have been better.
Jake.
Come on, Jake. We're already hitting the demonetized button as it is. We're close to it.
It was dreadful, wasn't it? It was. You couldn't work out what was going on half of the time because you'd have players run. They'd leave either a red or white skid mark across the pitch, or yellow in case of the referee. They would stop. They would pixelate. You think, what's the point in having this for free? You can't even make out bugger all. I couldn't work out what was going on half the time.
It did feel like an artistic impression of what a football game is like.
It was like, when you get the courtroom images drawn up. It was like that.
No way. I did see an image, but I wish I'd have watched it.
And the thing is, it wasn't like...
It wasn't great.
It was every minute or so as well. It was really persistent. Now, it wasn't just like did it once every 10 minutes. It was all the bloody time.
And that was because I don't know if you guys heard, I think they were streaming in 20 frames per second or something, 25 or something, and it was actually in 30, the stream was 30 frames per second or something. So every other frame or every fifth frame was being repeated. That's why.
Yeah, we got to see those frames quite a lot.
Okay, well, you know what? We'll park that. S8, how did you watch the Champions League final? Did you watch it on YouTube or did you watch BT Sports or a different method?
YouTube, yeah.
YouTube. So you were exposed to this fantastic artistic impression. What did you make of it?
Absolutely exceptional, with no sarcasm whatsoever.
Can I just say,
today's game of spot the Arsenal fan? where is he? It's Essay. Correct.
Can I just add as well? Like, did it look like, you know, when Sky Sports they bring out the massive like pad and they do all the analysis, or the massive TV screen? Did it kind of look like that? Like
we're not bloody good.
Jake's expression of it looking like skid marks across the pitch is probably the best expression.
It was because you'd have players running, and I tell you what it was like. It was like Sonic.
You know what? It sounds like laggy FIFA, a laggy FIFA game.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, it basically was.
Okay, well, I mean, it sounds like
fun to watch as FIFA and all.
Sounds like you guys are giving raving reviews to BT there on.
Can we just say allegedly on all of that, by the way? Again, the Lord Department, we were having to go at FIFA there.
You are?
Allegedly. Yeah. FIFA is allegedly laggy.
Allegedly. There's no proof.
Don't get me started on FIFA. Don't get me started. I could go for days on FIFA. What a horrible game.
So let's go on and let's actually talk about the game itself. So 1 minute in, we just talked about the streaming bit. I actually missed what happened with the penalty because Mitchell decided to change streams.
Mitchell.
So, I mean, yeah, talk about letting the side down, but nevertheless, we were like, they probably scored now. And like, would you believe it? We've turned on and it's a penalty. So yeah, what did you guys think? And we'll start with Charlie on this one. What did you guys think of Sissoko's alleged handball?
Okay, we can drop the alleged on that one. What is he doing? You can't have your arm out in an area like that, really. If your arm's out like that and the ball hits it, doesn't matter whether it was deliberate or not. You can't have your hand in that position. It's basic. You can't be doing that. It's a Champions League final. I get that's what they do. They want to be able to communicate, but you don't have to be throwing your arms up in the air to do it.
I completely agree. It would have been different if his arm was down and it hit him in the same place. But the fact it was like waving about, it was like one of those bendy men you get outside the car auto sale things. Like,
I do appreciate.
I'm loving the references.
I appreciate Glenn Hoddle as well. Talking about going back to the BT coverage.
Yeah,
Glenn Hoddle was spitting feathers about that. He was fuming.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway, it's hit his chest and hit his arm. It's like, no, Glenn, no.
He shouldn't have his arm up there. His arm up there.
What commentary team was he on? Because like there was, I'm sure there was like different commentary teams for different BT streams. I don't know if you guys noticed it.
That's true. God, who did we have? Steve McManaman, I think.
Did you have Jermaine Genius as well?
Jermaine Genius, yeah.
Oh, he kept calling them all by their first name as well.
Yeah, actually, I saw
driving me nuts.
I saw on Twitter just earlier. Someone tallied all the nicknames or all the first names, and I think I just saw it as well. This is what's really annoyed me. I think it was like, obviously one of them was more, but I think they all had like 7. They were all called by their first names like 7 times.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. Shame I can't find it now. Esso, what did you make of the penalty?
Initially, I actually did think it was a penalty, but after looking at replays after the game, it turned into like a difficult one for me to make out.
Why was that then?
I looked at it on the initial play, or straight penalty, but then had second thoughts.
Now, obviously, I missed it because of Mitchell, but did the ref go over to VAR at all?
Did they
I think
check
he
it?
waited.
I think
He waited and got
Yeah.
confirmation. I think they basically just went.
So
Yeah,
he
it's a
gave
penalty.
it, and then okay. That's
'Cause
interesting. That's interesting.
BT's referee was like, "Yeah, it's definitely a penalty."
Yeah.
Is it Peter
that's
Walton?
Yeah, they normally get him
yeah.
without question.
Yeah,
It's a penalty.
they went to him, asked him, didn't they? And he said it was definite. For me, I don't know where his arm was doing up that high. Like, I get you've got, if you want to give instructions to cover behind you, but what's he thinking doing that in the box? Standing up Marnie, you are asking for trouble.
Less than a minute into the final.
Yeah, and just on that note, I mean, Charlie, you've obviously been a coach yourself. You're 1 minute into a big game. Your player has just given away a penalty. You're just now 1-0 down. What on earth do you do now? What would be your approach if you was Pochettino?
The thing is, what happened after that goal? Tottenham actually, it seemed like an individual mistake more than a team mistake. So it just happened, like one of those things that just happens out of circumstance. And the rest of the Tottenham, if you watch the next 20 minutes, which were arguably the dullest 20 minutes of football all season, because nothing happened, and it was a black hole of football, is what it was.
Goal in football.
It might as well have not happened.
That's up there with the catfish of the World Cup catfish. Kieran Trippier. Yeah. Sorry, Charlie. Go on.
Keep in the corner. We'll get there. It's fine. Much like the crosses, that was too early.
Carry on.
If you're Tottenham and you go 1-0 down, if you're any team, you go 1-0 down early. The last thing you want to do is concede again. If you keep it 1-0, in fairness, Tottenham, they got to 70 minutes in the game, was it? I'm going a little bit ahead now. And they were running 1-0 down. And actually, they got to that point 20 minutes in the end. And I was watching the game with a Liverpool fan. And he was like, if Tottenham score, they're scoring twice. If they get one, they'll get another. Because you could tell the momentum was swinging towards Tottenham. So I
feel like they never quite got there, though. I think they got to the cusp of having that, sort of momentum.
They got
just
to the point
refused to do anything with it.
A world-class player would have won the game.
Yeah, 100%.
It felt like a Champions League final that was as good as all the players in that pitch are. It was devoid of...
It was missing that quality in it, because I thought Salah had quite a poor game as well for his standards.
Yeah,
I don't think he did anything particularly other than the penalty. But I mean, even that penalty was rough.
Yeah, he got Lloris weren't that far off, was he?
No, not at all. I think he just sort of went for power, but it wasn't a good penalty by any means.
I mean, that's a really good point. As in, for me, when I was watching, I was like, "Where's Salah?" And if you think back, obviously, what happened with Ramos the year before, but I mean, when it comes to finals, he tends to go a little bit, he tends to go under the radar.
It's strange.
I mean, in fairness, how many finals has he been in?
Well, I mean, this is probably his second, isn't it? I could be wrong, but I know that's harsh to judge, but I mean, how many finals have we as a panel played in? Probably none. Well, probably played in one or two.
We do better in Champions League final, Danny.
Yeah, why not? Chuck Charlie up top. I'm sure you do a good job.
I think the problem I had with both teams actually was that they've played each other before this season. They play each other every season. They know what they're about. But it felt like neither of them had played before. And it was like they were terrified to actually go for it. I think
I'm going to flip the table a little bit here and go talk about Liverpool.
Do it.
Liverpool scored their goal, and it was like they were caught in two minds. Part of them was like, we've scored in a minute here. We can go and get a few. If we can get a couple before half time, that's it. Game dead. They'll fall to pieces. But they were like, but Tottenham were still in the game enough to threaten. So they were like, oh, well, we've got to hold back, but we've also got to go. We want to go out.
I think the only thing I really remember was Robertson's shot.
Yeah.
That was it. I think that's the only thing I think that they did.
Yeah, I remember Tottenham actually being in Liverpool's box in that half.
Yeah. I mean, just talking of, I guess, other players that obviously went under the radar. I mean, we can't help but mention Harry Kane. Obviously coming back from injury, and how much of a call that was to start him. Let's go. I want to get everyone's opinions on this. If you was Pochettino, I know it's in hindsight now, but if you sort of rewinded time, would you have picked Harry Kane?
Nope, no chance.
And why not then?
I think Mora warranted a start, given the fact that he got them there in the first place. But I also think to bring Kane back in a game of that magnitude after, I mean, how long was he out for? It was a good few months, wasn't it?
He was out since the quarterfinal first leg, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's been out for a decent amount of time.
I would have said put him on the bench and maybe bring him on nearer towards the end when you get in, if you say getting desperate.
1-0 down with 20 minutes left, yeah.
But I think to start him, you're asking for trouble. You know, I mean, give the bloke a break. Let him ease back.
See, you say that. Do you not think Harry Kane would have been the one pushing to play?
I mean,
that Harry Kane would have been in Pochettino's office and been like, "Look, I'm the captain of this football club.
I don't care if I'm one-legged. I will still play this final."
And in fairness,
it's not his decision either, is it? I mean,
well, it's not. But I feel like Pochettino is someone who puts a lot of faith in his players. And he's not a stupid guy. I feel like he's surrounded by intelligent people. If it was me, I would have started Kane. I think their issue came more in the play. The problem is, I would have started Kane. It's difficult because you can see both sides of that argument.
Yeah,
I actually think Spurs this season have been better when Harry Kane's not been in the team.
It's almost like it's kicked them into playing as a team a little bit more and not having that reliance on Harry Kane.
I mean, personally, I thought when Mora came on yesterday, again, I know it's hindsight, but I enjoyed watching him in the semi-finals against Ajax. And like when he came on yesterday, I know he didn't score, he didn't.
I thought it was so much more direct. Like the minute he came on, the attacking intent.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot more. Yeah, definitely. Let's bring in SA on this because SA's not really getting much of a say. SA. Would you have started Harry Kane?
With the Nations League finals around the corner, that's a definite no. I don't understand why Kane started in the first place.
But obviously, Pochettino is, I mean, to put it bluntly, he doesn't really care if Harry Kane plays in the Nations League or not.
I don't think Harry Kane probably cares about the Nations League.
But yeah, okay. So you think it's more a case of like he should have been saved for obviously the international games coming up, and I guess maybe prepping for next season.
No, I'm not saying he shouldn't have started as a sense of keeping fit for international games, but I think he should have played a substitute role or something.
Yeah. Echoing what Jake said, effectively.
Too big, too soon, is my opinion.
Problem is, Harry Kane is an elite finisher, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think Spurs don't. Son is great, Lucas is great, but neither of them. Well, Son might have an argument more here than Lucas does, but they're not a finisher on the level of Harry Kane. If you're in a game in the Champions League final against Liverpool, I don't think Spurs were expected to have as much of the ball as they did.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Spurs were expecting to hit Liverpool on the counter.
I think with Harry Kane, you're more likely to sort of nick a goal, maybe sort of a bit under pressure,
isn't it? Because
than if you were to dictate the play and build something up. I think that's probably what they were going for with Kane. I think if anyone's going to have the ability to nick one, it's going to be Kane, isn't it?
Did you guys notice how narrow they were playing as well? Like they were playing like certainly in the first half they were playing between the lines an awful lot.
There was a lot of middle of the park play, wasn't it? It was a lot of midfield battles, and
I think
it kind of
interesting.
Worked, but go on.
Sorry, just to jump in the coverage before the game. They brought up the clips from when Tottenham played Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah.
And they showed how in the first half, Tottenham played at 5 at the back, were holding a lot, and that actually Liverpool started to get in behind and scored their goals from that. Mm-hmm. And that in the second half, they played a diamond there with like an almost identical team to the one that started yesterday. Started in the final.
Interesting.
And so I think they probably, I think the argument there was that Pochettino had obviously seen that we were much better. Look, we're much better against them playing like that and condensing the play down the middle.
That's true.
And then trying to fight them at their own game and trying to bomb at two fullbacks that are arguably two of the best in the world right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I would say, like, just looking at someone else from Tottenham, someone who I felt had a good game. I thought Danny Rose had a particularly good game.
His decision making was poor.
I thought he did. I thought he did well.
I thought he was one of the better ones.
Yeah, I don't think he was like he wasn't man of the match, but he was probably one of the stronger players for Tottenham.
Yeah. I think for a player like Danny Rose, who he's been solid enough, but he's never been, the shining light of a team. I thought he had a decent game. I think he had a very good game by his standards. Put it that way.
In fairness, I think Tottenham, and I'm happy to be wrong here, I think Tottenham's man of the match was probably Harry Winks.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree. I don't think
he made that midfield tick.
Yeah, I don't think he should.
He really, he made that midfield move, and he was really important for them.
Yeah, completely agree.
Essay, Divock Origi obviously came on, scored the winner. Cemented the Champions League title, I guess. How would you describe his impact? Certainly in Champions League games this season for Liverpool.
Let me just talk about the match itself. When he got substituted for Firmino, I had a little inkling that he would make a difference. I'm not saying like, oh, I've done this all along. I'm not going to be that sort of person. But I just had that little inkling because I saw Firmino go off. I thought, right, good. Jurgen Klopp has substituted off a name and substituted on a player.
Yeah.
You know what? If you know what I mean.
Do you think Origi will stay at Liverpool? Like,
yes.
This is open to the
panel. He definitely will now.
Sturridge is on his way out now. It makes more nowadays to get the goals that Origi has scored. You're shelling out over £50 million.
Yeah.
For a player that scored twice in a Champions League semi-final.
Yeah.
Scored a winner against Newcastle, a winner against Everton.
Well, I mean, put it this way, right? I think in January, Liverpool were open to selling Origi to us, to Fulham. And I think we wanted to pay about 15 mil, but Origi wanted to stay and prove himself. And
boys, fair
play, he's done that, So I think now he's almost shown the team and Jurgen Klopp that he deserves to be there, essentially. I mean, without him, they wouldn't have won that Champions League.
Yeah. I mean, boys, there's so much to talk about. We do have little time. So one of the final sort of topics we're going to discuss was probably one of the more entertaining parts of, I believe, the first half.
Streaker.
The streaker. Does anyone want to talk us through what happened? Don't forget, Jake, in particular, please keep it PG.
Well, this is quite funny because that streaker was not PG at all. And
exactly.
What it was promoting was anything but PG.
Exactly. So, who wants to explain what happened? Anyone want to?
Danny, how are you expecting us to explain that without?
Yeah, it was bloody Vitali again.
This is a challenge. This is a challenge, my friend.
Much like her running on the pitch.
Go on then, Jake.
Porn pranks, basically.
Go on, repeat again, Jake. We may as well lose our demonetisation. Go on.
So Vitali, who was pitching, what are the ones that he actually pitch invade?
Apparently,
isn't he?
World Cup or something like that. Someone said like 2 years ago.
He tends to do them a lot, doesn't he? So this time his missus did it in a swimsuit to promote his porn pranking website.
There you go. Very PG.
In a nutshell.
Well done. She. I think I saw something on Sport Bible about her. She's 22. 22.
Really worrying.
Danny's done his research.
Danny, what's her middle name and where did she grow up?
I don't know that much.
What did she order in the restaurant before she got...
Guys, come on, let's just leave it there now. Come on.
SA's not impressed. Okay, so I guess final really point. Where do you see this, or do you see this sort of having an effect on Tottenham and Liverpool's approach into next season? So let's start with SA on this one. Do you think it will have any influence, any effect on how Liverpool or Tottenham approach next season?
Well, everyone's going to be nipping at the heels of Liverpool, so they've got to improve in the summer to make sure to make sure they don't get that crown taken off them.
Do you think that they could retain it at all? I know it's early days, but
it's a possibility, but they do have to make improvements.
Okay, and well, again, I don't want to just put you on the spot, but what areas do you feel they need to strengthen in? If not, have a think, and we'll come back. We'll come back if you want. Go on in, Charlie.
I think they probably need a centre back. Oh, sorry, they probably need a Mattis de Ligt.
Cool.
I mean, that's not going to be cheap, is it?
Well, no, but Liverpool have proven that they're not really in the cheap market anymore. Look at their last two windows. Their biggest signings have been Van Dijk at, what was it, £75 million?
Yeah, something like that.
Alisson at about 60-something million pounds. So they're hardly averse to going out and splashing big. And if you can secure someone like De Ligt to play alongside, the only barrier to that, I think, is Joe Gomez. But I think he needs to have a big year next year. If he can have a big step next year, and they can really nail down that partnership with Gomez and Van Dijk. Yeah. Scary pairing, really, to be honest.
Okay, Jake, what do you think?
I think, well, Liverpool are obviously going to be on for the league again next year. I think this will have given them the belief now that they can definitely go out and challenge for it. And they'll probably be trying to bring in those couple of players who will give them that quality to... Don't get me wrong, they rivaled City last season, but I think they're going to be, hot contest for them now. Spurs is an interesting one because... I mean, how long has Pochettino been there? And he's got his project, and
apparently it's been about 4 years or something like that. 4 seasons, yeah.
Fair play.
I think. Go on, sorry, you go.
No, I was just going to say it wouldn't surprise me if he looked for another challenge at the start of the season.
I think it'll be next summer. Personally,
yeah.
So not this summer.
There'll be
another season, yeah.
Yeah, I think what the thing is, there'll be. I think
it'll depend on the transfers.
I think
he'll have a come down to. Yeah,
he'll have a conversation with Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
And he'll say, "Look, we need 1, 2, 3, 4. We need. What would you say? I think they need an elite right back. They need, arguably an elite left back as well. They need to nail down Vertonghen and Alderweireld.
Yeah.
If Eriksen goes, you need to replace Eriksen. So that team really is in a stage of rebuilding.
It's taking it to that next level, and if they want to challenge again, they're probably going to need, a few world class players brought in, which is, don't get me wrong, easier said than done. But I think Pochettino's future will definitely depend on transfers. I think if it's the same as last year, I can't see him wanting to stick around.
It'll certainly be interesting to watch. And just on that, obviously, we'll bring you some coverage throughout the summer, and in future podcasts as well, we will certainly be discussing and reviewing the season, more so on, I guess, on a Premier League level, a Championship level, for us Championship fans. But we'll certainly go into more depth over the next couple of weeks. Sadly, we've overran, but this is an extended episode. We've not done one for so long. First things first, I just want to say, gents, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much, Danny.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. So yeah, just to end up, do you want to just give out your social media handles? So let's start with Jake.
JT1196. I believe that's what it is. Last I
It's not
checked, anyway.
changed. Fair enough. Charlie.
Yeah, you can find me at Charlie Pumfrey on Twitter, basically whinging about Brighton for the whole of the summer.
You've got Graham Potter now, haven't you?
Yeah, Graham Potter's Barmy Army.
You're not going to be whinging. You're not going to be whinging. They're good.
Good manager.
Graham Potter's good. Yeah.
He's a wizard.
Essay.
Yeah. About that.
That's a complicated story. Anyway, essay, boy. Hey! That's all right. Not a problem.
A timeline near you.
Exactly. In future podcasts, we'll provide more details, I'm sure. But thank you very much, Essay. Appreciate that. And that brings us to the end of the Champions League review special. Hopefully, if these guys are all back, if Jake, Charlie, and SA are all interested in coming back over the next couple of weeks, we will discuss some more points and talk maybe about England winning the Nations League. We'll have to see. It's coming home. It's coming home. Anyway, for now, thank you very much. And thanks for listening and take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.